Now let's talk about the good old-fashioned Irish potato. It's the hands down absolute favorite. In my house, we can never have enough of them. We could eat them at every single meal. And you might be grossed out if you got one of these in your bag of potatoes or found it at the bottom of your pantry cupboard. But it's actually a little nugget of gold that you've just been given, because this little, he looks like a little Viking hat kind of warrior guy. He's really funny looking, but this is something you can easily plant in your garden. Pretty much just forget about it. Make sure it gets watered to a certain degree. And in 3 to 6 months, you will dig up about anywhere from 6 to a dozen more potatoes from this little guy. So there's one thing I'm gonna do to show you how you can cheat this and make this go even further. What you're gonna wanna do is cut them in half, just like that. It's kind of gross, I know. Cut this yucky bit off the bottom. We don't like that bit. That's not too bad. And then you're gonna lay it down on a paper towel or on brown paper, like just an old grocery bag, to kind of take some of the moisture off of that, that exposed cut. I'm just gonna get all this rot off there. We've got some little weird things in there. Don't worry about that too much. Just get all the rotty bits off. And try and leave these shoots going. So you can leave this on your kitchen counter for the night and just kind of really kind of dab, you know, all those exposed edges off. I'm gonna cut a little more of this one off because it's really gross. And when you get up the next morning, you can go ahead and plant those two in the garden. And in 3 to 6 months, you're going to have potatoes that you can dig up and will be delicious. Hi, Toni again at Brookgreen Gardens, and I'm back in the greenhouse to show you something that you can do at home with the kids or just on your own, that you don't need to take a separate trip out to the garden center or to the home improvement store to buy anything. All you have to do is go to your local supermarket. So something we eat a lot of in the South and a lot of people enjoy in a lot of places are sweet potatoes. Now you might be feeling a little cheated if you were served a sweet potato that looked like this. But when I can find these little baby sweet potatoes, I grab them up because they make for great starts for sweet potato slips. All you have to do is put them in a little dish of water like this and set them in a sunny window, like all these little guys up here we've got going. You can see we've got a variety of different little jars. If you have a jar that's made for forcing bulbs, these work really great. Little bumblebee there. Hi, bumblebee. Anyway, so you're gonna sit them up there, and after a few days, you'll have the start of a slip develop. So you can see if you look very closely here, these tiny little slips are just starting to make their way out of the sweet potato. And these have only been in the windowsill for just less than 48 hours. So we've got 2 and a third one started over here. These will grow, and I'll eventually remove those from the sweet potato itself and plant those out in the garden. We'll check back on those in a few days and see how they're doing. But in the meantime, I'm gonna leave them up here to do their thing. And some people will tell you that you can't use supermarket sweet potatoes or potatoes to start your own. And that's just not true. A lot of them do get treated with something called bud nip. It's not unhealthy for you. You were gonna eat that potato anyway. It's perfectly safe to start. It might slow down the process a little bit, but most of them will produce a start for you that you can plant out in the garden and grow your own sweet potatoes and potatoes.